So this is the first generation Sega Saturn that I have, and I'm going to try and open it up and see if there's any hope at all of salvaging this thing. When we looked through the cartridge slot, it was very badly rusted. This may be beyond repair, but let's see what we're looking at. When I hooked it up to a TV and I pressed power, I didn't get any action. I didn't get any video, but it also could be because this reset button is stuck. So, who knows? But let's open it up. Let's see what happens. The other thing was this spindle was super recessed. It's kind of hard to really tell, but it's a solid 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters below this surface here. So I can't even get a disc in here to read. I've already taken the screws out, and these were two of the screws. This one in particular, I think, was... No, that one's not bad. This one was completely rusted to the point, like, I couldn't even get my screwdriver in there. I had to get a different one with a sharper end to really bite into the screws. So I haven't opened this yet. I've just taken the screws out. Let's see what we've got. What the heck? There we go. All right. So this is the inside of the casing, and there's just covered in rust. This screw in particular, completely rusted out. I don't know what this is. Some sort of piece of metal of some type. I don't know the purpose of it, but it's just all covered in rust. Down here, so if you look down on the bottom, the RF shielding is rusted out. Oh, that's the reset button. I see. So in the first generation models, they have a little extender arm that presses the button for you. So the switch here seems to be, oh, it's not bad. There we go. So it was just kind of jammed. That may be why it wasn't ever actually showing anything. But we also have to fix this spindle. I'm going to try and clean this out a little bit. Yeah, so I'm going to disassemble this further, and we'll see what it is that we're looking at here. So first thing I'm going to look at is this laser assembly. Now, I haven't given up on this yet. I mean, the back of it's just rotten. It's full of rust. I'm really curious what did this. Obviously, something was spilled in here, and who knows what, but as far as I can tell, most of this rust is contained to just the shielding, and of course this cartridge slot. This slot is probably never going to be usable again, but luckily this is a disc-based system, so that's only a partial limitation. But what I'm going to do is try and fix this spindle here. You might notice that the post is significantly above the top of the spindle, and there's no way that you can get a disc on there. So we're going to take this apart and we're going to see if we can fix that. So first thing we need to do is get this plastic piece off. So what you do for that, you just pinch in at the top and it lifts right off like this. There we go. And that's exposed the whole laser assembly, and I mean, none of this looks rusted at all, so that's a very positive thing. It may still be serviceable. We're gonna have to see what we can do. So what I need to do here is raise this tray up a bit, and you can usually do that just by pulling up. I'm gonna have to turn the camera off because oh, no, it's a one-handed job. I lied. So I have that off, and here it is in my hands. So it may be a matter of we just need to reapply that. So I'm going to put this tray back on just as a guide, so I know how far this part needs to go in. So ideally, the hub should sit about a millimeter above this level here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to push it down, and I mean, that's generally about roughly where you want it. if you put a disc on, just grab one of my discs here. So if you put a disc on, oops, this isn't really staying on very well. So this whole hub might need replacing. Now, we're going to try that again, but I'll be back. I'm going to fiddle with it for a little bit, and I'll be back when I think I have it at a good place. Alright, so I've cleaned up those ribbon connectors. I've reassembled the laser here, and I'm going to try and... well, what I've done is I've popped the spindle back into place here. So I've just raised it up a bit so it's at a level where I can install a disc. All there really is left to do here is to try it and see what happens. So I only have it plugged in, but I want to make sure that it spins properly. So I don't know if you can hear that, but the disc is definitely wobbling. So I mean, that tells me that this spindle is probably a little bit bent. Or I just need to raise the spindle up a little bit more, either or. So I'm going to try pop it out and put it back up a little bit and see what happens. But as of right now, that's not going to work for me. So I'll be back in a moment. So this is just a close-up of that bar, and I'm just to give you an example, I'm spinning it, and I really can't detect any type of wobble at all. So I think it's just a matter of how I had this hub installed. So I'm going to try and pop it in place here again, and if it doesn't work, I may even try borrowing one from another console and see if that makes any difference here. So let's snap this all back into place. So just out of curiosity, let's put a disc in. Yeah, it's still wobbling. So I'm going to try and borrow one from another system and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I've replaced the spindle hub here. This was the original one, and this is one that I borrowed off of a newer generation system. So one thing that I noticed is the arm in the first gen console is longer. So I actually had to take a drill bit and kind of hollow out this hole a bit more on the one that I replaced it with. Otherwise it wasn't going to reach. However, when I spin it, it seems to be a lot more stable. So I'm going to plug it in and we will see what happens. Alright, so it's plugged in, and let's see what happens with this. Disc is spinning, and it's staying spinning, so that's a good sign. I guess the next step here is going to be to plug it into my TV and see what actually happens from it. But this is good so far. So let's turn that off, let's move over to the TV, and let's see what's going on. Alright, so this will be the moment of truth. We have it hooked up to the TV, and let's just power it on and see what happens. So disc is spinning up, but still no video. So I am suspecting that, see if we wiggle this, do we get anything? Nothing. So I'm suspecting that there's something wrong with the main board on here. Gonna have to take it apart further and kind of see what the issue might be. So I'm gonna do that, and we'll be back once I have it all stripped down. Alright, so I've stripped this down right to the board, and well, let's just put it this way, there might be some problems. So obviously this is no good. But the issue we were having was with the video, and this is the connector for the video. So I'm going to try and clean this, but it may not be something that's going to be salvageable. I mean, this is just full of rust. Mostly in this corner. So, I mean, it's possible that a clean will help, but I really don't know. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my alcohol, get my toothbrush, and give this board a good scrub. Try and get as much of this rust and crap out of here as I can, and I'll be back once that's done. Alright, so I've given the board a bit of a clean. I mainly tried to get around the video out unit. Back of the board, I cleared up a lot of the rust. I don't really see any bad solder joints. I'm going to try and see if this will zoom at all. So I mean, these, how many pins is that? 10 pins right here in the middle of the screen, right near there. Those 10 pins right here is what hooks up the video connector, and I mean, those solder joints look okay. There's just so many points here, I don't know that I'm going to even bother going through and trying to trace them, because anything could be bad. It could be some of these little resistors or capacitors. It could be even just the inside of here could be completely full of rust. I've tried cleaning that out. I've actually poured alcohol through it. I've plugged the connector in and out and in and out to try and flush out whatever might be in there. So all I can really do at this point is plug it in and see if we happen to get anything. If I still get absolutely no video signal, unfortunately, I'm going to have to write this board off. I mean, there's just so much rust here. Everything's so compact. It's going to be next to impossible. Like these little components in here, those easily could be no good, and that could affect how video comes out. This chip here, I mean, the legs don't look too bad, but I mean, it could be anything. So I'm going to reassemble this, and we'll give it a test and see what we get. Alright, so we've got it all hooked up. Time to throw a game in here, and I mean, fingers crossed. This is pretty much probably bust, but let's see what we've got. Yeah, and still nothing. Not even a hint that anything's connected. It just stays blue. I'm gonna try unplug this. It's unplugged. It's plugged back in. Yeah, it's no good. So unfortunately, this board is shot. It looks like we may have a fully functional laser unit. So I mean, at least I get some parts out of it. The controller subboard is good. The power supply probably is fine, but no video, and I'm not about to go try and trace all those traces, or try and connect all the traces. It's just way too congested. So unfortunately, this one, it looks like, is no good. So similar to Meatloaf, 2 out of 4 ain't bad. Let's fingers crossed for the third though. But that'll be it for this video. I wish it could be a happy video, but unfortunately we were not successful in getting this guy repaired. It's not surprising. I mean, look at that. It's absolutely just destroyed. But oh well. I got 2 of them working out of my box so far, with 1 still to go. Fingers crossed on that one. Thanks a lot for watching though. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit subscribe, follow my channel, and as I get more stuff, as I try and repair more stuff, I'll be sure to upload more videos. Thanks a lot. Bye.